You look at life, and it looks back. The text that doesn't come, the same argument that repeats, the money that almost arrives then slips away. You tell yourself, I've tried everything. But what if life isn't ignoring you? What if it's mirroring you? Most people live like reality is a screen, something out there that needs to be fixed, chased, improved. But what if it's a mirror, reflecting not your wishes, but your state of being? Every thought, tone, tension, every emotional pattern, echoed back through people, timing, and chance. You smile while your body still whispers, I'm not safe, and the mirror reflects that silent frequency, not the smile. It's maddening, isn't it? When you know what you want, yet keep watching the same pattern replay. The person you love withdraws, the opportunity fades, and you start to think the universe is random, unfair, or deaf. But the truth is much closer, and much more intimate. The mirror principle says, nothing changes out there until something shifts in here. Not as a punishment, but as a law of coherence. Just like you can't see a new reflection until you move differently, you can't see a new life until your inner stance, your emotional posture, changes first. The strange part? You can't fake this shift. You can't smile your way into abundance while your nervous system still braces for loss. The mirror reads the signal beneath the words. So the question isn't, why won't reality change? It's, what am I still broadcasting that reality keeps showing me? Because once you understand how the mirror really works, you stop fighting the reflection and start transforming the one who stands before it. Think of reality like a mirror made of energy, not glass. Every vibration you emit, thoughts, emotions, expectations, even subtle body tension, ripples into that field and returns as form. It doesn't judge, it doesn't delay. It just reflects the pattern that's most consistently held. Here's the trick. Your conscious mind speaks in words, but the mirror listens in frequency. You might affirm, I'm successful, yet if your body hums with anxiety, the mirror translates that signal instead. This is why manifestation often feels inconsistent, because the mirror reflects coherence, not sentences. The observer effect in quantum physics offers a poetic clue. When something is observed, its potential collapses into a single state. But the quality of observation, calm, fearful, expectant, subtly affects which state emerges. In simple terms, you don't just see reality, you shape it by how you see. That's where embodiment enters. The real signal is how your body feels in the moment you observe life. Are you tense, waiting for proof? Or relaxed, knowing you're already aligned? The first project's lack, the second project's presence, and the mirror can only match what's steady. So changing reality isn't about forcing a new reflection. It's about becoming the frequency you want to see mirrored back. When you truly shift, reality reorganizes around you with uncanny precision. People respond differently. Random messages appear at perfect timing. Coincidences multiply. It's not magic, it's resonance. But here's the catch. Most people try to change the mirror itself. They chase outcomes, adjust external things, hustle harder. Yet, when the signal inside stays the same, the reflection resets. You might clean the glass, but the face remains unchanged. The moment you realize this, your power returns. You stop pushing and start tuning. You begin to sense that your emotions are not obstacles. They're the language of the mirror, guiding you toward coherence. And coherence, once embodied, moves worlds. Because the real shift begins not when you think positive, but when your nervous system finally believes the new signal is safe enough to hold. But most people misunderstand what that safety truly means. And that misunderstanding keeps their reflection frozen in place. Here's the myth that traps almost everyone. If I just think differently, everything will change. Sounds good on paper, but the mirror doesn't respond to thoughts alone. It responds to the energy beneath them. You can think, I'm abundant, 1,000 times. But if, while saying it, your stomach tightens and your breath shortens because the rent's due tomorrow, the mirror feels that tension and echoes it right back. It doesn't reflect your words, it reflects your state. That's why so many people say affirmations until they're hoarse and still see no shift. The signal they're broadcasting is contradiction. Let's make this real. You're staring at your phone, waiting for a message. Someone you care about. Maybe it's been hours, maybe days. You try to stay high vibe. You repeat, they'll text, I'm magnetic. But every refresh comes from anxiety, not ease. You tell yourself you're detached, but your body is curled inward, your jaw tight, your breath shallow. The mirror reads that contraction as lack, as waiting, as absence. And so it mirrors that back. Silence. Not because you're unworthy, but because the reflection can only show the vibration you're actually standing in. This is the paradox. The more you try to control the mirror, the more it reflects control, which is just fear in disguise. You can't manipulate energy into compliance. You can only relax into alignment. The real switch happens the moment you stop performing confidence and instead feel safe to embody it. When your shoulders drop, when your chest opens, when your breath deepens, the signal stabilizes. That's when the mirror softens. People start responding differently, timing synchronizes, and what once felt blocked begins to flow again. It's not that the text magically appeared. It's that you became someone who no longer needs the text to feel whole. And in that wholeness, the reflection changes on its own. So the myth of mind over matter misses the truth. Matter is already mind, condensed into form. You're not here to force outcomes. You're here to embody frequencies. Once that's clear, the question becomes, how do you actually regulate your inner signal, especially when your body still remembers the opposite? Because coherence doesn't start in your mind. It starts in your nervous system. And that's where the real reprogramming begins. Your nervous system is the hidden dial behind every reflection. It decides what's safe to experience, what's possible to receive, and what's too unfamiliar to let in, no matter how much your mind insists otherwise. You can visualize all you want, but if your body is still coded for survival, it can't open the door to expansion. Think of it like this. The mirror doesn't respond to your desires. It responds to your baseline tone, and that tone is set by your nervous system's rhythm. When your body is in threat mode, even subtly, your signal becomes fragmented. The mirror, loyal and literal, sends back mixed reflections. People ghost you. Opportunities slip. Money pauses. It's not punishment. It's a perfect echo of an internal vibration that says, not yet safe. Safety is the foundation of all manifestation because safety is what allows coherence. When your brain and heart move in rhythm, when your thoughts and emotions stop arguing, your field becomes smooth, like a calm surface of water that finally reflects a clear image. Here's a small practice to begin that reset. Close your eyes. Breathe in gently through your nose. And as you exhale, imagine your whole body melting downward, like butter softening in warm sunlight. Let your shoulders drop. Let your tongue unstick from the roof of your mouth. Now place a hand on your chest and feel its rise. Don't force calm. Just notice. Ask quietly, am I safe right now, in this moment? If your body hesitates, don't fight it. Simply stay. Let the breath move a little slower, a little deeper. You're teaching your system that presence isn't dangerous. Each calm breath is a new broadcast to the mirror. I'm available for ease. When you reach this level of internal coherence, thoughts naturally align. You don't have to believe in abundance. Your body starts resonating with it. People sense that groundedness even before you speak. The mirror translates it as flow, effortless alignment between intent and outcome. So before any visualization, before any affirmation, the true practice is regulation. Because your reflection can only rise to the level of safety your body allows. And that leads us to the deeper truth. The mirror doesn't just reflect your state, it reflects your identity. The person you believe yourself to be is the shape the mirror never stops echoing back. There's a moment in every transformation where you realize this isn't about feeling better. It's about becoming different. Most people chase a state, calm, confident, abundant, loved. But a state is temporary. It's like a ripple, beautiful, fleeting, and easily disturbed. Identity, though, identity is the ocean underneath. When you try to maintain a high vibe state while still identifying as someone trying to get there, the mirror can only reflect the trying. It keeps showing you effort, delay, waiting, because it's mirroring the self you're inhabiting, not the mood you're visiting. Here's the paradox. You don't manifest from the emotions you occasionally reach. You manifest from the self you consistently return to. The mirror doesn't care about how inspired you felt last night. It reflects the energetic tone you live in, your emotional home. So, if your nervous system now feels safer from the last part's practice, this becomes your next edge. To inhabit a new identity that matches the reflection you desire. Not pretend, become. Imagine this. You walk into a job interview. Most people enter as someone hoping to be chosen. That frequency radiates subtly. Body slightly leaned forward, breath shallow, waiting for cues. The mirror, meaning the interviewer, the tone of the room, the flow of conversation, echoes that. You're treated as someone seeking validation. But when you walk in as someone who already belongs, who knows their presence adds value, your energy changes. Shoulders square, voice softens. You don't perform. You transmit. The mirror responds instantly. Doors open not because you force them, but because coherence always attracts coherence. This is the quiet alchemy of identity. When the self-image stabilizes, the external rearranges without struggle. And yet, this is where many people get stuck. Because shifting identity means releasing every version of you that was built around survival. The one who needed to prove, to chase, to be chosen. Letting that self dissolve feels like death, but it's really rebirth. You'll know the shift is real when you no longer chase the mirror for reassurance. You simply walk as the reflection you wish to see. Because the moment identity aligns, timelines begin to bend, and reality itself starts rearranging around your new frequency. Every identity you've ever worn exists on its own frequency, and each frequency lives on a distinct timeline. You can think of these timelines as parallel rooms, each filled with a version of your life that matches a specific vibration. The struggling me, the almost there me, the effortless flow me, they're not fantasies, they're frequencies. When you change identity, you don't attract a new life, you tune into a new room. The furniture of your circumstances rearranges itself according to your new broadcast. The mirror doesn't need convincing, it just shows the reflection of the station you're currently transmitting. Let's ground this with a scene. You've been under money pressure, bills stacked, the same anxious cycle. One day, you stop mid-scroll and notice how tight your body feels. Every part of you has been vibrating at lack, not because you're weak, but because your nervous system is loyal to old safety codes. If I worry, I stay alert. If I stay alert, I survive. But something in you decides to shift the broadcast. You drop your shoulders, breathe, and feel the chair beneath you. You whisper, I'm supported. Not as a performance, but as a new identity forming in your cells. You move slower, eat slower, answer emails from calm instead of panic. 2 days later, someone who owed you money reaches out unexpectedly, or a new client appears from nowhere. The old you calls it coincidence. The tuned you sees it clearly. You didn't chase a new outcome. You stepped onto a new timeline. The key is stability. The mirror always waits for consistency. A brief surge of faith can open a window, but only a steady identity keeps it open. This is why so many experience manifestation highs followed by crashes. They glimpse the new frequency but still identify with the old self. The reflection flickers between timelines. So the practice isn't to believe harder, it's to embody longer. Hold the new frequency until it stops feeling new. Until your nervous system recognizes, this is who we are now. When that happens, time begins to behave differently. Synchronicities cluster, delays dissolve. What once took months arrives overnight, because you're not waiting anymore. You're already standing inside the version where it's normal. And once you grasp that, you can train your system to rehearse the new identity consciously, not just in thought, but in movement, breath, and behavior. Because reality rehearses you as faithfully as you rehearse it. The mirror principle isn't mastered through thinking, it's mastered through rehearsal. You teach your field who you are by how you move, speak, breathe, and respond before the reflection changes. Most people wait to feel confident until the results appear. But the mirror can't show you something your body hasn't yet learned to signal. So here's the toolkit. 4 simple but potent practices to train your frequency into stability. 1. Bridge statements. When your mind rejects big affirmations like, I'm abundant because it feels false, use bridges. Instead of forcing belief, soften into it. I'm learning what stability feels like. I'm open to being supported in new ways. I'm beginning to trust that life responds to my calm. Bridge statements create energetic permission. They tell the mirror, I'm moving toward coherence, which invites gradual reflection rather than sudden resistance. 2. Somatic anchors. Choose one physical gesture that signals your nervous system. This is my new baseline. Maybe pressing your hand over your heart, touching your wrist, or lengthening your breath. Use that gesture whenever fear spikes. It tells the body, we're safe to stay in alignment. Over time, the anchor becomes automatic, a body-level reminder that your frequency is still home. 3. Frequency rehearsal. Before you start your day, stand up and imagine stepping into the version of you who already lives the reality you desire. Feel their posture, rhythm, voice tone. Don't act as if, embody as is. Walk across the room like that version would. Make coffee, check messages, answer calls from that energy. You're not faking, you're stabilizing a new identity template. 4. Mirror dialogue. Each morning, look at your reflection and speak to yourself as the reality you're becoming, not to convince, but to integrate. Say, I see you holding it differently today. You're not chasing, you're radiating. It may sound small, but it programs the subconscious faster than abstract affirmations, because the mirror you're speaking to is the field itself. These 4 tools are your daily tuning fork. They teach your nervous system that the new frequency is safe, familiar, embodied. The more you practice, the less you'll need to manifest. Your reflection will begin keeping pace naturally. And if you've ever noticed that when you finally relax, things click into place, that's not luck. That's alignment remembering itself. Have you noticed the moment you stopped gripping, what you wanted finally showed up? Tell me your story in the comments. It might unlock someone else's leap. But even with these tools, 3 hidden traps still pull people back into old timelines: urgency, split signals, and over-control. And learning to transmute those is where mastery truly begins. Even with all the awareness and practice, 3 invisible forces still sabotage most people's reflection: urgency, split signals, and over-control. Each of them scrambles the mirror in a different way, not because the universe is cruel, but because these frequencies distort coherence. Urgency is the first one. It feels productive, like passion, but underneath it's fear wearing purpose's clothes. You say, I need this to happen now. But what the mirror hears is, I'm incomplete until it does. Urgency compresses time. It floods the body with survival chemistry and collapses the signal into scarcity. The antidote isn't passivity, it's trust in timing. When you feel the rush rising, pause, breathe deep into your belly and silently say, even now, nothing is missing. This re-expands your field and restores temporal flow. Split signals come next. This is when one part of you says yes, but another whispers no. You visualize abundance, yet dread responsibility. You call in love, but brace for loss. The mirror can't interpret contradiction, so it mirrors confusion, partial manifestations, flickers, delays. The remedy is radical honesty. Ask yourself, do I actually want this version, or just the relief I think it brings? When you clarify that, your frequency stops oscillating. Coherence returns not by forcing alignment, but by cleaning up mixed intentions. Then there's over-control, the chronic need to monitor every reflection, every sign, every step. Control is simply distrust, trying to feel safe. But the mirror is holographic. It only stabilizes when the observer softens. Over-control fractures the signal. Surrender fuses it. So, next time you catch yourself checking for proof, do the opposite. Close the loop. Whisper, I've already been heard. Then drop your shoulders. Let the field breathe for you. When you dissolve these 3 distortions, something astonishing happens. Time stretches again. Coincidences accelerate. You start to live in rhythm rather than resistance. None of this means you stop taking action. It means your actions come from coherence, not compulsion. A relaxed signal doesn't mean passivity. It means potency. When your inner world moves in harmony, reality doesn't need to be pushed. It's magnetized. And the miracle is that this steadiness follows you everywhere, not just in meditation or practice, but in the tiny moments of ordinary life, walking, eating, talking, listening. Because the real test of coherence isn't what you can hold in stillness. It's how gracefully you stay tuned while moving through the world's noise. Integration is where the mirror principle stops being a concept and starts becoming your default lens. It's easy to feel aligned in silence or during a meditation, but the real art is holding coherence while cooking dinner, answering a tense message, or walking into a crowded room, because that's where life tests whether your signal is stable or conditional. Every moment is a mirror. The way someone speaks to you, the tone of an email, the pause before a reply. Most people react unconsciously, reinforcing old frequencies, but once you understand the mirror, you begin using those moments as tuning opportunities. When you're walking, notice your rhythm. Are you rushing? Your body is broadcasting urgency. Slow down deliberately, match your breath to your steps, feel your feet meet the ground. You're not just walking, you're recalibrating your signal in motion. When you're eating, feel the texture, the pace, the gratitude. Each bite can either confirm scarcity, I have to finish fast, there's not enough, or anchor abundance, I have time to receive fully. The mirror reflects whichever state dominates your nervous system. In conversations, coherence means listening without rehearsing your response. Presence itself is a frequency. When you meet another's eyes without defense, you're telling the mirror, I'm safe in connection. And suddenly, people start mirroring safety back. Softer tone, more openness, deeper resonance. Even the simple act of waiting, at a red light, in a line, for a message, becomes a sacred calibration. Instead of checking your phone, try closing your eyes for one breath and silently say, I trust the rhythm. You'll feel your system drop from control into coherence. That's the frequency the mirror loves most, the calm certainty that nothing needs chasing. What you'll notice over time is that life starts echoing your inner tone with astonishing accuracy. When you're grounded, the day unfolds smoothly. When you wobble, mirrors appear everywhere to show you where you fell out of tune, not as punishment, as feedback. This is where manifestation turns from a technique into a lifestyle. You stop doing alignment and start being it, moment to moment, breath by breath. Because when coherence becomes your baseline, the extraordinary begins to feel ordinary. And that's when you realize the mirror isn't outside of you at all. It's in your movements, your words, your choices, your stillness. And when that truth sinks in, a new realm of possibilities starts to open, beyond personal goals into something much larger than you. Once your inner mirror steadies, the reflection expands far beyond your personal world. Relationships shift. Creativity ignites. Even your sense of purpose starts to clarify, because the mirror principle doesn't just shape what you experience. It shapes how the universe expresses through you. When coherence becomes your natural state, you start to see that you were never manifesting things. You were manifesting levels of consciousness. Each new frequency calls in experiences that match its rhythm. You're not getting more. You're becoming more. Take relationships. When your baseline used to vibrate with anxiety or scarcity, you attracted people who matched that restlessness, those who mirrored your fear of being unseen. But as you stabilize in safety, you stop needing others to complete you. And in that wholeness, new kinds of connections appear, mutual, grounded, expansive. The mirror of love reflects balance, not dependency, or creativity. Remember those days when you'd sit staring at a blank page, feeling blocked? That's the mirror too, reflecting self-doubt disguised as perfectionism. The moment you shift to curiosity instead of control, ideas begin to flow. It's not that inspiration suddenly arrives, it's that you finally tune to the frequency where it was already waiting. Even health responds. The body is the most honest mirror of all. When you embody coherence, your cells register that signal. Breathing deep becomes medicine. Thoughts grow lighter. The immune system starts mirroring safety as vitality. Healing isn't forced. It unfolds in resonance. Here's one more scene. A creative block turned breakthrough. You're a musician, staring at your instrument after weeks of silence. You're frustrated, telling yourself, I need to write something good. The more you push, the tighter your chest feels. But then you pause. You exhale slowly. You whisper, I don't need to create. I just need to listen. In that instant, your frequency changes, from pressure to presence. Your hands move without thought. The song pours out. The mirror reflects back the freedom you just embodied. This is the beauty of expansion. You realize your life isn't happening to you. It's vibrating with you. Every domain, love, health, art, money, is just another angle of the same mirror, waiting for your coherence to give it form. And when this awareness deepens, you begin to sense something even vaster. That maybe it's not just your energy shaping the mirror, but something greater moving through you, reflecting itself as you. There's a moment when the mirror no longer feels like an external force. It begins to feel alive, responsive, intelligent. You start to sense that reality isn't just reflecting you, it's dancing with you. Every echo, every delay, every coincidence feels like a conversation with something larger, something that listens not to your words, but to your vibration. This is where the mirror principle crosses into the spiritual. Because once coherence becomes your nature, you realize you've never been separate from the field that reflects you. You are both the observer and the observed, both the painter and the canvas. What looks like manifestation is actually communion. Science calls it resonance. Mystics call it oneness. The experience is the same, a merging of personal will with a greater intelligence that orchestrates effortlessly. You begin to understand why surrender isn't weakness. It's participation. When you stop forcing the reflection, you make space for something infinitely wiser to move through you. It's almost paradoxical. The more you release control, the more precise reality becomes. You think of someone, and they text. You imagine a solution, and the answer arrives through a stranger's words. You feel guided, not by logic, but by rhythm. Because coherence doesn't just align your field, it syncs you with the wider field that holds every possibility. In this space, even challenges shift meaning. They're not punishments. They're mirrors showing where love still hesitates to flow. A conflict becomes an invitation to embody peace. A loss becomes a doorway to deeper trust. Every reflection, even the painful ones, is the field reminding you of your own unfinished coherence. And in those moments when you completely surrender, when you stop asking why and simply breathe, you feel it. That quiet hum beneath everything. A pulse that says, you're not alone in this creation. You never were. This is the ultimate mirror lesson. You are both the signal and the surface it shines upon. The universe isn't testing you. It's responding through you. And when that truth lands, manifestation stops being about attraction. It becomes about remembrance. You're not trying to get life to mirror something new. You're remembering that life has always been your mirror, perfectly precise, infinitely kind, and waiting for you to recognize yourself in it. Because the reflection you've been chasing was never separate from the one who's been looking. Stand in front of the mirror. Not metaphorically, literally. Look into your own eyes. Notice the stillness between breaths, the softness in your face. That's where reality begins. Because the principle of the mirror was never about learning how to control the reflection. It was about remembering who's holding the gaze. Every shift you've made inside, every breath of safety, every release of urgency, every quiet rehearsal of calm has already started altering the image before you. Life cannot help but respond. The field doesn't delay. It simply calibrates to the frequency you stabilize. So when something feels unchanged out there, it's not resistance. It's a delay in coherence, a moment where your signal is still deciding whether to trust itself. Keep tuning, keep softening, keep walking as the reflection you desire even before it appears. Because when you stay steady long enough, the mirror catches up like dawn breaking over glass, inevitable, silent, complete. This is the paradox the mind struggles to grasp. You don't fix the reflection by reaching forward. You change it by coming home. When you become the calm, the clarity, the love you once sought, the mirror doesn't have a choice. It has to echo that truth. So the next time life throws an old pattern at you, don't fight the image. Smile at it. Recognize it as a fading frequency, dissolving as you stabilize something new. Reality isn't against you. It's showing you where you've yet to remember yourself. Because you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. Every reflection is proof that the universe listens, not to your words, but to your energy. And now, as you read this, maybe pause for one quiet breath and feel the mirror shifting. If this message found you at the right time, tell me in the comments, what reflection in your life is finally ready to change? Your story might just become someone else's awakening.